Morning, people. It's spring. Well, not exactly. It's still February, but it's quite warm and it's sunny. It's just 9 a.m. and the sun is quite high. Normally this is the noon in December. It doesn't get any higher. We're gonna go and visit this bakery now, Skeppsbro bageri. In the old town. You see it's the old town. That's the waterfront of the old town, and we're gonna visit it because on the 25th of February we had this Fat Tuesday. It's a special day that usually is 5 weeks before Easter, which is the day where you're gonna eat a lot of greasy and fat food, and then you're gonna start fasting if you're like religious. Most of the Swedes do not do the fasting part, but they eat the fat and the sweet part. And the bun usually eat during this Fat Tuesday, on that Fat Tuesday. Some people eat it from January to April. Others think it's a sacrilege. You have to only eat it maybe a week before the Fat Tuesday. So it's a topic for discussion nowadays in Sweden. And we have many different versions and forms of this bun. We're gonna go and see how one of the best bakeries in Stockholm makes the regular, the classic one. And just, go inside the kitchen at the bakery and just see all the flour and, the dough. I love this atmosphere and let's get just a cup of coffee. So before we're gonna make semlas, I found some goodies. This is the cardamom bun on the way. My favorite actually, and this is the cinnamon bun. See, semlas come in 2 sizes. Well, in this place they come in 2 sizes. I love the large size. Why would you buy the small size if you buy the large size? But if you want some less calories, then probably it's the smaller one that is better for you. So while we wait for the semla buns, we have some bonus, one can say. Look, it's gonna be the cardamom buns. The spread was sugar with butter, and now it's the cardamom. So that's how my favorite buns in town are made, actually. I think he likes what I just said. That's good. So this is the cardamom buns. These will be the cinnamon buns, these traditional Swedish buns that you really have to eat at least once when you come to Sweden. And what you really have to do in Sweden is fika. Well, I told you once before what fika is, right? And we're gonna ask him later about, as a Swede, what he thinks about fika. Can you survive without fika in Sweden? Can you survive without fika in Sweden?
Absolutely not.
Absolutely not was the answer. No. So that's how the semla bun looks. It will be filled with almond paste and the whipped cream, so it's that's not the final product. But look how amazing they look, just as they are. And then the cinnamon and the cardamom in the background. I love this place. Can you adopt me? Can I live under the table or something? And you have good breakfast, you have good soups for lunch. So we're almost ready to go. We have the buns with cardamom we have the almond paste. We have the roasted almonds. And then the whipped cream. So we have started. The first thing you do, you cut off the top. So now we go in with the almond paste. Now that's the magic. That's my favorite part. Actually, it's a trend nowadays. Yeah. They didn't do it before, like classical semla, which it is. It is a classical semla, but like 10 years ago, you would never find semla in Stockholm with crushed almonds. Now it's a must. If you have a plain almond paste, it's like boring. So now we're going in with whipped cream. It's unsweetened, and it's really important. In most of the countries I've been to, if you see cream, whipped cream in the cafe, it's going to be sweet. In Sweden, no, it's going to be unsweetened, right?
Yes.
Yes, he says. So actually semla is not that sweet because the bun, well, it's with sugar, but it's not really sweet. These things are really sweet, the cinnamon bun and the cardamom bun. But semla is less sweet, I should say. It's the mandel paste that is the sweetest part. Roligt. Tack. So now we're gonna have some fika and I'm gonna ask some questions.
Det som är idag är att konsumenten har framförallt ett stort... Jag tar med bullar hem så bakar jag dem hemma. Jag bakar aldrig.
So now we're gonna sit in fika. And I've told you before what fika is. Let's ask a Swedish baker. That's the person that should know about fika more than anyone else. Let's ask if there is life without fika. Like, what are his feelings about fika?
Fika is very important. In Sweden we have 11 fika and 3 o'clock fika. That's very important. You drink coffee and you eat something sweet. Both 11 and 3 o'clock.
Would you survive without fika? Like, if you'd move to a place where there's no fika, would you fika and still?
Yeah, of course. I fika every day. I eat about 2 to 3 buns every day.
And you're like fit. You see?
Yeah, but I work hard.
Now, the main question that I usually get, people like don't dare buying those buns because they look like they kind of, you don't know how to even approach it. You don't know how to start eating it. Do you eat it with fork and knife? Do you eat it just, one piece and push it in your mouth? Like, how do you eat it? Well, everyone eats the way they want. Really, there is no right or wrong way to eat it, but there is a traditional way to eat it, and actually it's with warm milk. Well, we're done. I forgot my glasses today, so I have to, I don't see much. I don't see the camera. But now you've seen how semlas are made, and there are a lot of recipes. Every bakery has their own recipe, and maybe once I'll ask him for their recipe. But you can just Google semla recipe and just choose the one that you like. And what's most important in it is the actual bun, because the bun has to be right or according to your taste. Because if the bun is right, then the almond paste, you can always just add more almonds, less almonds, more sugar, less sugar, more caramel, less caramel. So it's more flexible. You can always just whip another batch of cream. But if the recipe for the buns are right, then it's more than halfway. So I'm a huge fan of this bakery. I have many other bakeries that I love, but I feel like at home at this place. Feels right. It feels welcoming, and They have breakfasts, they have soups for lunch and other things for lunch. And they have like sandwiches made of their bread. And I'm not paid for saying that. It's not a paid commercial, you have to understand. I'm just a big fan and I can't just recommend them enough. So if you are in Stockholm and you don't want to go far from the old town and still you want to taste the fika, and come to Skeppsbro. It's a street, it's a waterfront street. You probably recognize it. That's the face of the old town facing the Baltic Sea. That's the old face of Stockholm in the 17th century when Sweden was kind of an empire. The golden age of Sweden, we used to call it. And then you would come and visit Sweden. You would come from the Baltic Sea. That was before the trains and the airplanes, obviously. And that's what you would see. That's the houses. Rich merchants would build their houses here to be seen, to be close to the port, to impress. So this was the face of an empire, of a military empire. It was so cold in the morning before I came inside. I really rushed with the introduction. I hope you understood what semla was. That traditional bun, you can only eat it in the early spring, late winter. You cannot find it during the summertime unless I open a bakery when I am a senior and make semlas, all year round. And you're gonna come and visit me, right? And they are so simple. It's just, just bread and butter. It's just a bun and a whipped cream, but it's so much more than that. It's the feeling and it's the right almond paste. So I guess I'm gonna say bye to you now. Please share my channel. Please tell your friends that are coming to Sweden, to Stockholm, that I have my channel, so they can learn more about Sweden and Stockholm before they come, so they know which bakery to go and eat their buns. And yes, I have my Patreon that you can support my channel on. The link is below. And obviously I'm a private guide, that's what I do. So if you have like your parents coming to Stockholm or you come to Stockholm and you need a guide, well, here I am. You obviously find my website below as well. See you on Instagram, and guys, see you in Stockholm.